Hey everyone, Captain V from All Pro. It's a snowy Sunday here, and I'm loving it because it gave me some time to think. Just completed the East Islip Fishing Show yesterday. Had a great time. This weekend coming up, we'll be leaving Thursday to start getting ready for the show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's the New England Fishing Expo in Marlborough, Massachusetts. So all my peeps in Massachusetts, this is the only show we'll be doing in the great MA, okay? So you'll need to find us there. My peeps in Connecticut, Rhode Island, take the trip. Come meet me. I'm doing seminars on striped bass. They're great. You're going to love it, and you're going to learn something about it, and we'll be able to shoot the breeze. So please, if you watch me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, introduce yourself to me. Let's chat a little bit. That's the best part of me doing these shows. So the one thing that I learned or dawned on me this past weekend, I had customers coming over to me over and over, asking me what's the best Fluke rig, what's the best Fluke bait, when's a good time to fish for them, where should they fish for them. And I just did a video on this not that long ago, but I guess when you start reaching like my age, the memory starts going. Also, you can't carry a YouTube or a Facebook post with you, right? So what I did is I created a cheat sheet, a Fluke cheat sheet, which is your summer flounder, specifically for the South Shore of Long Island. And I laminated them. So all you need to do is email me at allproteam@allpronational.com, and we'll send you this laminated cheat sheet, okay, full Fluke. It includes all the tips. You can leave it on the boat. I laminated them so they're somewhat water resistant, okay? Leave it on the boat. This way, when you're on the boat, you can see what the conditions are. You can take a quick look at your cheat sheet from All Pro and try to use the right rigs in that circumstance or fish in the right location in that particular environment in those conditions. I think it's going to be helpful. Doesn't cost you a dime. Just email your name and address to allproteam@allpronational.com, and we're going to send it to you for free. But please, follow me. Just hit the button on Facebook. Follow me. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Instagram, follow, share, put a comment in. By you doing that, it allows me to bring you more content. It's not hard. It costs you nothing. And you're going to get a lot for it. The cheat sheet alone is going to help you. So let's go over it real quick right now. So when it comes to Fluke or just about any species, water temperature, water temperature, water temperature. So as you start in late April, May, that water temperature is going to be in around 55, 59 degrees. The Fluke are moving out of the ocean into the bay, okay? When that happens, they're going to be moving in the back part, in the shallower waters. Why is that? Because that water is warmer. So you may say, well, why would they be out in the ocean? Don't you want to be in warmer water? Yes, and they are. When Fluke migrate out into the ocean, they're 200, 300, 400 feet deep. That water is actually warmer than the surface during the winter, during the surface temperature during the winter. So as the water starts to get warmer, they start to move in inshore, then move into the bay. And by the time it gets to about 55, 59 degrees, they're in the bay starting to set up. However, at that time, they are sluggish, okay? They're a little bit lethargic. They're not aggressive biters, and they're mostly eating, simple, easy baits. They're eating your grass shrimp. They're eating the smaller shrimp. They're eating small spearing, and anything else they kind of get their hands on. So in those situations, you want to fish an outgoing tide. And why is that? That's because the warm water is coming and getting pushed out into the ocean. They're going to be a little more active biting during that outgoing tide. And you want to fish, again, the shallower areas, okay? Those runoff areas off the marshes where it's pulling out the shrimp and the little baits and stuff like that, where even the little fish, start to, feed over there. And then the fluke will come up there and they'll wait for their bait. So, their bite. So, at that time, you want small baits. You want to basically dead stick. No, snap jigging at that time. No fast moving. You want a slow, easy drift. That's what you're looking for. You're also working very light. A single jig. I wouldn't recommend high lows. Simple, quarter, half ounce, tap, tap, tap. Your smaller baits, your 4-inch grubs. Don't be using 5 or 6-inch grubs at that time. Your 4-inch grubs. There's a lot of different shrimps on the market. If you're into, Berkeley, the Gulp, they make a 3-inch shrimp. They also, I believe, make a 4-inch shrimp. Stay in that area. If you stay in that area and keep with that new penny or the gray-white colors, you're right on it, okay? And those are the type of baits you kind of want to use. If you're going to go with some sort of squid or fluke strip, keep it 4 or 5 inches. Not like what we do when they're more aggressive. We move up to like 6, 8 inches, okay? Keep it slow, keep them smaller, keep them short, work them slow because they're sluggish. They don't want to work too hard to get their food. Then the temperature as we get into June, towards the end of June or so, that temperature is getting to about 60, 68 degrees. This is when they become even more aggressive. Now, we've had situations where our water temperature wasn't getting into the high 60s until July. So we may want to move that up, like we're talking maybe mid-June to mid-July, towards the end of July, okay, where that water temperature is now 65, 68 degrees. That's when they're most aggressive. So if you see your numbers in the 60s, specifically, 65 to 68, 69, but not 70, under 70, above 50, prefer above 65, that's when they're going to be most aggressive. And in that time, the tide kind of depends where you're fishing. Sometimes the outgoing is better. Sometimes the ingoing is better. So it depends. But at that time, they're going to be around your bridges. They're going to be around structure. They're going to be off the shoals. They're going to be around the clam and mussel beds. They're going to definitely be on the inside in the bay, reefs and wrecks. And we have wrecks in the bay. We have reefs in the bay. That's where the fluke start to load up. They're more aggressive. They're looking for bigger baits. They're willing to put a little more effort in to get on that, to get their meal. Also, if you run into a situation where the drift starts to rock a little bit because you got the wind or you're moving on a mid-current type of thing, your fluke spoons is when you're going to start using them because they'll chase a fluke spoon then. You don't want to use a fluke spoon when the temperature is below 60 degrees. They're lethargic then. They're not going to chase a spoon. So you're going to want to move into that spoon in the 65, 68 degree temperature area. Also, that's when your high-lows become more effective. And your teasers, that's when you want to start using that stuff. Again, when the temperature is 65, 68 degrees. Also, move up on your grubs, on your bait. You're going to go 5, 6 inches now instead of 4 inches, okay? I mean, in late May, even I guess early June, while that temperature is still 50 or just trying to break into the 60s, I'll go with 3-inch stuff, okay? So now we're moving into your 5 and 6 inch, baits. Also, this is the time that you're going to see them getting on to the live snappers, the live peanut bunker. If we have spot in the area, they're going to get on the spot. Live killies is huge. This is where you get live killies. You can come to our bait store. We'll have them during this time of the summer because we know that's what they're feeding on, and they'll be more aggressive to attack that. They're looking for your larger spearing at that time, not the Peruvian spearing, but just like the larger, like the Canadian spearing. They definitely like that a lot. They will hit the bay spearing as well. We have a very good vendor who provide us our base spearing, and they're good size spearing. And they get better as the season goes along because they're starting to mature the spearing. So the spearing do get better. But look to use like your bigger spearing, but don't go too heavy on anything. One spearing, okay? A grub. You don't need to put like a grub and, a squid and a spearing all on one hook, okay? And your longest strip bait. So this is where we go into our fluke bellies. We're going to make our fluke belly 6 inches around that point. We're going to make it like a triangle, like a flag type of thing. We're going to use squid at that time as well. So that's when the temperature is well into the 60s, more aggressive bite. That's when you want to shift there. So what do we do when we start getting into mid-August, late August, maybe even early September, where the bay, the water temperature is now 70 degrees? Well, that's hot for them, okay? That is hot. So they're going to start to migrate out of the bay. And they're going to be active because they're going to look to kind of beef up a little bit. So it's going to be an active bite, and they're going to look to eat bigger baits. However, the best bite is going to be like maybe the incoming tide at that time. Why? Because it's bringing in the cooler water. So they're going to be a little more aggressive as that water cools off a little bit. You're going to see them move into the ocean reefs and those ocean wrecks. Another great spot for them at this time is the inlets. When they drop off into the ocean, when you're drifting those areas there, you're going to find fluke right there at the mouth of the inlets. And the deep channels in the bay, moving out towards the inlet. So if you're fishing like, say, Fire Island, you're going to definitely see the action pick up in the state channel around like the Coast Guard station, right? The water's a little deeper there. They're going to be up off the shoals there. They're looking to feed. Everybody knows that on the west side of the bridge, there's a shoal there. The water drops off, gets deeper. Everybody knows the bite's good there. And you move over to the Sore Thumb. Again, drop off. They're right on the rocks. It's crazy. So you're going to move right into there. Another great place. What are you going to use? You might use now heavier jigs, high lows with heavier sinkers, all work, but you want to move into your 6 to 8 inch baits. Your live stuff works, but because you're working deeper water now, you definitely want to start using your glows. Your pink shines aglow, your glow grubs, definitely good. If you don't have a glow grub, you know what? It's not going to hurt to put a little blinking light on there if you're fishing in 60, feet water and so forth. If you're at the cholera, again, that's the deeper area. When they start to move out, that's one of their stops that they're going to make is out there. The Dodge is another stop that they make, and feed a little bit before they continue on their journey out. So in those situations, a little glow ain't going to hurt you. So bring a flashlight with you, a blue light, and make sure you hit your glow and get that working really well before you drop it down. If not, there's these little lights that we even sell them that you can actually put on your, lure, and they'll blink a little bit. I don't actually do that, but a lot of Sharpies tell me they do it, and it works for them. So something to consider. This is Captain V from All Pro. I made this for you. All you have to do is email your name, your address. I don't want your phone number or anything like that. Just your name, your name and your mailing address. We'll drop it in the mail. We'll pick up the postage. It costs you nothing. Throw it on your boat. Come on. It's a no-brainer. Follow me, share, subscribe, comment. Come visit me at the New England Fishing Show this weekend, which is, I don't know, it's got to be like January, I don't know, where are we, the 25th now? I don't know what the dates. I don't follow dates, man. When you don't have a job, you just wake up and you're happy that you do, So I don't know, let's say 5 days from now, to the 30th maybe? So maybe it's the 29th, 30th, 31st, or maybe it's the 30th, 31st, and the 1st of February, something like that. It's definitely this weekend coming up. You'll find them on the web. New England Fishing Expo, great show. Captain V, let's get fishing.